I didn't mean to break down at work. I'm the kind of person who holds everything in, smiles through pressure, nods through pain, keeps her voice steady even when her heart is drowning. But today was different. I closed the office supply closet door behind me the moment my chest tightened, the moment my vision blurred, the moment I knew I couldn't stand out there for one more second without falling apart in front of everyone. It was small, dusty, and smelled like printer ink, but at least it was dark. At least in here, no one could see me choke on my own breath. I pressed my back against the shelves, clutched my hands to my chest, and held in the sob that was trying to escape my throat. Not here. Not at work. Not where he worked. I wiped my face with the sleeve of my shirt, praying nobody heard me. But the more I tried to stay quiet, the harder the tears came. My breathing shook. My fingers trembled. My lungs refused to cooperate. And then, a deep voice, muffled but unmistakable, drifted in from the hallway. "Where is she?" My stomach dropped. No, not him. Anyone but him. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Commanding. The kind that made the air change. The kind that made people straighten their backs, lower their voices, disappear into their work. The kind that belonged to Massimo De Luca, my boss. Or, as rumors whispered, the Mafia boss hiding behind a corporate mask. I squeezed my eyes shut. Maybe he would walk past. Maybe he wouldn't notice. Maybe. The door handle turned. No. The closet door opened. Light spilled in. And there he was. Massimo. 6'3", broad shoulders filling the doorway. Black shirt hugging his frame. Sleeves rolled up. Veins visible along his forearms. His eyes. God, his eyes. Dark, sharp, observant. And right now fixed directly on me. I froze. He didn't say anything at first. He just stared. I tried to stand, wiping my cheeks desperately, but my legs refused to cooperate. I'm sorry, I stuttered. I just 5 minutes. I'll be fine. Please close the door. My words tangled and fell apart. He stepped inside, closed the door behind him, and now we were both squeezed into the tiny closet, barely 2 feet between us. My heart hammered against my ribs. His presence filled the room like oxygen turning into fire. "Why are you crying?" he asked, his voice low, steady, terrifyingly calm. "I'm not. I was, but..." I swallowed hard. "It's nothing." He tilted his head slightly. "That isn't an answer." I forced a breath. "I don't want to bother you with my problems. You're my secretary." His tone didn't rise, but it sharpened. "It is literally your job to bring every problem to me." "That's not what this is," I whispered. "Then what is it?" I looked down, chest tightening again. "I can't tell you." His jaw flexed. "Who hurt you?" I inhaled sharply. "No one. Don't lie to me." His voice dropped to a quiet command that shook my entire body. I lifted my eyes. He wasn't angry. Not exactly. He was focused, intent, like someone had flipped a switch inside him, like a predator scenting danger. He moved closer. The closet felt even smaller now, even air felt scarce. "Angelina," he murmured. He only used my name when he was deadly serious. His hand lifted slowly, not touching, just hovering near my cheek. "You come in here crying, shaking, unable to breathe." His voice had softened, but it was still dangerous. "And you expect me to walk away?" I swallowed hard, my throat raw. "It's just life," I whispered. "I can handle it." He stared at me. "You're handling nothing." He gently took my chin between his fingers and lifted my face toward him. My breath hitched. "Tell me who made you cry," he said. "I can't," I whispered. "You can." "I won't." He exhaled through his nose, slow, controlled. "Fine," he said softly. "Then I'll figure it out myself." My eyes widened. "No. Don't. Please, Massimo, leave it alone. You think I walk past my secretary falling apart and do nothing?" His voice deepened. "You think I don't notice how you've been avoiding calls? Skipping lunch? Working late? Flinching at messages? I froze. He'd noticed all of that? When you work for me, he said, I see everything. That sentence should have been frightening. Maybe it was. But the way he said it sounded like protection, not surveillance. He dragged his thumb gently across my cheek, wiping a leftover tear. And in a softer, quieter tone, he asked, Did someone threaten you? My breath shook. It's personal. Personal, he echoed. His eyes narrowed slightly. Which means someone hurt you. I don't want to talk about it. And yet, he murmured, You're crying in a closet. I looked away, but he gently turned my face back to his. Angelina, he said, I can't protect what I don't understand. My eyes lifted to his. Who said I need protection? His jaw tightened. You're in a closet crying, he repeated softly. And you think you're not in danger? I'm not. Yes. He cut in, voice deeper. You are. His hand slid from my chin to the side of my neck, thumb gently brushing the tense muscle there. Not possessive. Not inappropriate. Just grounding. You're shaking, he said. You can barely stand. I didn't want anyone to see me like this, I whispered. Then you chose the wrong closet, he said calmly. Because I will always see you. My breath caught. He moved impossibly closer, his presence overwhelming, but gentle at the edges. Tell me what's wrong, he whispered. Tell me who did this to you. The words slipped out of me before I could stop them. My ex. His eyes changed instantly, soft concern turning into something lethal. What did he do? He asked, voice cold enough to kill. My voice broke. He showed up last night. Again. He keeps calling. Keeps coming near my building. I thought coming to work would help me breathe, but Massimo's hand tightened just slightly on my jaw. He came near you? He asked, voice dangerously soft. Yes. And you didn't tell me? It's not your problem. He leaned in, eyes locked on mine. It became my problem the moment you walked into this closet. My lips parted. Massimo? No, he murmured. You don't get it. He lowered his forehead to mine. I'm not letting anyone hurt you. I froze. The world froze. The only thing that moved was his breath brushing my lips. I won't let him near you again, he said quietly. I promise you that. My heart pounded. His voice, his closeness, the darkness in his tone that wasn't aimed at me. Something in me cracked open. He pulled back just enough to look into my eyes. You're coming with me, he said. What, where? Somewhere safe. I can't leave work. You can, he said. And you will. He gently took my hand and helped me stand properly. I didn't feel embarrassed anymore. I felt held, anchored, protected. We're leaving, he said. And the terrifying part was, I didn't want to argue. I wanted to follow him. Anywhere. His grip wasn't tight, just firm enough to steady me as he guided me out of the closet. But even that gentle touch felt like a command. Massimo didn't drag me. He didn't yank my hand. He just walked forward, and I followed. My legs were still shaky, and my heartbeat still uneven, but something about the way he walked, as if every step had already been decided, made me trust him without thinking. Where are we going? I whispered. He didn't look back. To my office. The tone, calm, controlled, but charged with something dangerous. When we stepped out, a few employees looked up from their desks. Their eyes widened slightly when they saw me with him, my hand in his, my face probably still red from crying. And him? He didn't care. He didn't slow down. He didn't hide it. He didn't acknowledge a single stare. He just held the door to his office open and said, Inside. I walked in. The door clicked shut behind us. He didn't go to his desk. He didn't sit. He stood there for a moment, watching me, observing me the way a surgeon examines a wound before treating it. Silent, focused, unblinking. Finally, he spoke. When did he come to your building? Last night. And the night before? I swallowed. Yes. And you didn't think to tell me, he said quietly. This isn't your responsibility. Everything about you is my responsibility. he cut in. I froze. He stepped closer to me, slow, deliberate. You work for me. You report to me. You walk into my building every morning. His jaw tightened. Whatever affects you, affects me. My breathing hitched. I looked down at the floor, not trusting my voice. He reached out and tilted my chin up gently, but firmly. Why didn't you tell me? He asked again. Because I didn't want to be a burden. His eyes softened for a brief second. You're not a burden. My chest tightened. You've never been, he added. He let go of my chin and exhaled slowly, rubbing his thumb across his palm as if trying to think through something. Then he reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and dialed a number without breaking eye contact. My stomach twisted. Massimo, please, don't do anything. He held up a finger. A silent wait. Someone on the other side picked up. Find him, Massimo said. His voice wasn't loud, but it was the kind of quiet that made the hairs on my neck stand straight. Yes, sir, came the reply. And send me everything. Photos, address, recent movements. Yes, sir. He hung up. I stared at him, my heart hammering. You didn't have to do that. Yes, he said, stepping closer. I did. He placed his hands on either side of my arms. Not grabbing, just resting lightly. You're shaking. I'm just overwhelmed. Good, he murmured. You should be. He searched my eyes. You think I can ignore someone stalking you? He's not stalking me, I whispered weakly. That's exactly what he's doing. I pressed my lips together. His brow furrowed, and his voice softened again. What did he say to you last night? I hesitated. He waited, patient but unyielding. He said, he wants me back. Massimo's jaw clenched. And he won't leave me alone until I agree. Massimo's eyes darkened. Not with jealousy. Not with hurt. With rage. He threatened you. That's not what he said. It's what he meant. My breath caught. He doesn't get to walk around thinking he has access to you, Massimo said. Not anymore. I blinked. Anymore? He held my gaze. Because you don't belong to him. I felt my heart tighten in a way that scared me. And, he added, because he doesn't get to decide your safety. I didn't know what to say. My throat felt tight again, but not from crying this time. Slowly, carefully, he reached up and pushed a loose strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers brushed my cheek, warm and steady. You're coming home with me tonight, he said. My eyes widened. Why? Because you're not staying in that apartment alone. I can lock the doors. He found your building. He won't come back. You don't know that. I stepped back a little, breathing uneven. You're asking me to just go with you? No. He shook his head. I'm telling you. My pulse spiked. That's not your decision, I whispered. It is, he replied calmly. When it concerns your safety. Massimo. He stepped forward again, closing the space between us. Angelina, he murmured. I won't ask again. He wasn't threatening me. He wasn't trapping me. He was claiming responsibility in a way no one ever had. My chest rose and fell rapidly. Do you trust me? He asked. The room grew still. My breath caught. My voice cracked. I don't know. He nodded once, slowly, like he'd expected that answer. Then let me give you a reason. Before I could ask what he meant, his phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. His expression changed instantly. Sharper, colder, more dangerous. They found him, he said. My heart dropped. What are you going to do? He looked at me again. Right into me. Make sure he never comes near you again. Panic shot through me. Massimo, don't hurt him, please. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I won't, he said softly. But he will never touch you again. That I promise. He tucked a finger under my chin, lifting my face to his once more. You're coming with me tonight, he repeated quieter. For your safety. For my sanity. I'm scared, I admitted. He exhaled slowly. You don't have to be, he whispered. Not with me. He opened the office door. Come. I hesitated. He held out his hand. Not demanding this time. Not commanding. Just offering. And for the first time all day, maybe for the first time ever, I realized I wanted to take it. Slowly, I placed my hand in his. His fingers curled around mine. Firm, protective, grounding. "We're leaving," he said, and I followed him. Not because he told me to, because for the first time in weeks, I felt safe. Massimo didn't let go of my hand the entire walk to the elevator. His grip wasn't tight, just firm, steady, grounding. Like he knew if he let go, I might break again. My legs still felt weak from crying, and the humiliation of being found like that lingered in my chest. But somehow, walking beside him, everything felt less heavy. People in the hallway froze when they saw us together. My hand in his. Some pretended to type. Some stared openly. No one dared say a word. Massimo didn't acknowledge a single one of them. When the elevator doors slid open, he guided me inside first. The doors closed. Silence. I stared at the floor, trying to slow my heartbeat. He watched me. I could feel his gaze like heat on my skin. Finally, he spoke. "You should have told me sooner." I swallowed. I didn't want to bring my personal mess to work. "You're not a mess," he said. I didn't respond. He stepped slightly closer. "You're not," he repeated, softer this time. "You're overwhelmed. That's different." I breathed out shakily. "You wouldn't understand." He tilted his head. "Try me. My ex." I hesitated, breath trembling. He wasn't always like this, but near the end he got angry easily. Controlling. Jealous of everything. Even my job. Massimo's jaw tightened, but he stayed silent. He started checking my phone. My messages. He wanted me home every minute. He said he was doing it because he loved me, but I blinked hard. But love shouldn't feel like a prison. Massimo's voice dropped dangerously low. "No, it shouldn't. He scared me," I whispered. But leaving him scared me more. A muscle jumped in his jaw. "And now," I continued, "he keeps showing up, calling, leaving notes, waiting around my building." I thought it would stop, but it's getting worse. Massimo didn't explode. He didn't shout. He didn't curse. He just said, "He won't touch you again." Something in his tone chilled me, not out of fear, but because I believed him. The elevator dinged. Lobby floor. He placed a hand on my lower back. Not pushing, just guiding. "Stay close," he said. We walked through the lobby together. The glass doors reflecting the dark, stormy sky outside. Wind howled. Thunder rumbled in the distance. His driver, Nico, stood waiting by a black SUV, umbrella ready. When he saw me, his brows lifted slightly. When he saw Massimo holding my hand, they shot even higher. Massimo ignored him. He helped me into the back seat. Actually helped, not just held the door. Then he slid in beside me. Nico closed the door and got in the driver's seat. "Home, sir?" he asked. Massimo glanced at me before answering. "Yes." My breathing hitched. Home. Not hotel. Not safe house. His home. As the SUV pulled away, city lights blurred through the rain-soaked windows. Massimo leaned back, watching me quietly. "You're too quiet," he said. "I'm just thinking." "About what?" I hesitated. "How strange this is," I whispered. "What is?" I gave a short, nervous laugh. "You, taking me home, protecting me, calling people to track down my ex, acting like..." "Like what?" he asked, voice low. "Like I matter." His expression softened in a way I'd never seen before. Something warm, almost pained. "You do," he said. My breath caught. "You matter more than you realize." The SUV turned into a private road lined with tall trees and security gates. Guards nodded as the vehicle passed. I blinked. "You live here?" Massimo didn't answer. The car stopped in front of a large, modern villa surrounded by security cameras and stone walls. Warm lights glowed through tall windows. The rain made everything look surreal, almost cinematic. Nico opened the door. Massimo stepped out first, then extended his hand to me. I hesitated for just a second, then took it. Rain tapped softly on the umbrella as he led me inside. The house was nothing like I expected. Yes, it was big, luxurious, expensive, but also warm. Wooden floors, soft lighting, tall bookshelves, and the faint smell of coffee. "This is where you live?" I whispered. "Sometimes," he said. "Sometimes." He removed his coat and hung it on a stand while watching me. "It depends on how much trouble I attract." I swallowed. "So this is your safe place?" "For now." He walked toward me slowly. "And tonight, it's yours." My breath trembled. "Massimo, I don't want to be a burden." He stepped closer. "You're not. I don't want to make your life complicated." "You're not. I don't want to drag you into my problems." "You already have." My heart stuttered. "And I'm not leaving," he added softly. I looked away. "It's too much," I whispered. "No," he said firmly. "It's the bare minimum." He gently took my chin again, lifting my face. "You cried alone in a closet today," he said. "That tells me everything I need to know." My eyes burned again. "You're staying here tonight," he said. "I won't debate it." I opened my mouth to argue, then stopped when his thumb brushed my cheekbone. "Let me take care of you," he murmured. Something inside me cracked. Not from fear, from relief. But the moment almost shattered when his phone buzzed sharply. He looked at the screen. His entire expression changed. Hard, cold, deadly. "What happened?" I asked, voice small. He didn't answer for a moment. Then, without looking up, he said, "They found your ex." My stomach twisted. "Where?" "Near your apartment." Fear slammed into my chest. "He was waiting," Massimo continued quietly, "with a bag. A bag." My voice shook. "What was in it?" He finally looked at me, and what I saw in his eyes, fear, rage, possession, control, all mixed together. "Clothes," Massimo said. "A toothbrush. A charger." I swallowed hard. "Why would he bring?" "He was planning to stay the night," Massimo said. "At your place." My blood ran cold. "I wasn't there," I whispered. Massimo stepped closer, eyes burning into mine. "I know." He cupped my face in both hands, voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "And that's the only reason he's still breathing." My breath hitched. He wasn't exaggerating. He meant every word. "From now on," he said, "you're not going anywhere without me." I opened my mouth to protest, but he didn't let me. He leaned in, his forehead touching mine, his breath warm against my lips. "You're safe here," he whispered. "With me." My eyes fluttered closed. Safe, protected, wanted. For the first time in months, I felt it, and that terrified me more than anything else. Massimo didn't step back after touching his forehead to mine. He stayed there, close enough that I could feel every exhale, close enough that my heart was beating against his chest. I should have pulled away. I should have said something sensible, something professional, something normal. But nothing about tonight was normal. Nothing about him was normal. His hands were still on my face, holding me like I was something fragile yet important. "Massimo," I whispered. He opened his eyes and looked directly into mine. "You're trembling." I know." His thumb brushed the edge of my cheek again. "Do you trust me yet?" I swallowed. "I want to," I breathed. His jaw flexed, but his eyes softened. "That's enough for tonight." He finally stepped back, but only slightly, as if he didn't want to let the space between us grow too wide. He motioned toward the hallway. "Come, let me show you where you'll stay." I followed him through the quiet house, each step echoing softly against polished floors. The walls were lined with old paintings, books, and subtle hints of a life I couldn't imagine him living. He stopped at a door and pushed it open. "This is your room." The lights slowly warmed the space. A large bed, soft cream sheets, candles on the shelves, a window looking out to the rain-soaked garden. It wasn't a guest room. Felt lived in, personal, like someone had poured care into every detail. "This looks too good to be a guest room," I said quietly. It's not. I froze. What, whose room is this? He held my gaze for a long, silent moment. It was my mother's, he said finally. My breath caught. She passed, he continued softly. I kept this room exactly as it was. Untouched, gentle, safe. My chest tightened. And now, he said, it's the only place I trust to keep you calm tonight. My throat went tight. Massimo, I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. He stepped closer. Just breathe. I'm sorry, I whispered suddenly, for ruining your day, for bringing all this. He cut me off with a quiet but sharp look. You didn't ruin anything. He shook his head. If anything, I should apologize. For what? For not realizing sooner. His voice tightened. For not seeing what was happening to you. You couldn't have known. Yes, he insisted softly. I could have. His hand lifted again. Slow, careful, until his palm rested against my cheek. I pay attention to you, Angelina. The words felt like a confession. My pulse flipped. Then, the doorbell rang. A sharp, sudden chime that cut straight through the quiet house. Massimo stiffened instantly. In a blink, the softness drained from his face, replaced by a lethal stillness. Stay here, he said. Who is it? I whispered, suddenly cold. He didn't answer. He walked out silently, closing the door behind him. I stood frozen in the center of the room, heart pounding. Voices drifted from the hallway, quiet, tense, male, then footsteps, then silence. I moved toward the door, leaned my ear against it. Nothing, no sound, no movement, just suffocating stillness, until the handle turned. I jumped back. Massimo stepped inside and shut the door behind him, locking it. What happened? I asked nervously. He didn't speak at first. He just walked toward me, slow and controlled, until he was close enough for me to see the tension in his jaw. It was one of my men, he said. An update. About my ex? Yes. My breath hitched. What now? Massimo hesitated, something he rarely did. His eyes met mine, darker than before. He had a key. My blood turned to ice. A key. My voice trembled. Yes. To my apartment? He nodded once. My knees almost gave out. How did he, why? Massimo stepped forward instantly, catching my elbows before I could fall. He didn't use it, he said. He never got inside. But he had it. My heart raced. No, he would never. I didn't give him. I know, Massimo said quietly. Men like him steal what they can't earn. My breathing turned shaky again. I can't go back, I whispered. You're not going back. Ever. Not until I say it's safe. I felt small, exposed, terrified, but he didn't let me spiral. He guided me to sit on the edge of the bed and knelt in front of me. Massimo De Luca, the man everyone feared, kneeling. You're safe here, he said again, softer this time. I swear it. I nodded weakly, but he wasn't done. There's more. My eyes lifted slowly. Your ex. He exhaled. He told my men he wasn't leaving until you talked to him. I swallowed hard. He's obsessed. Yes. I didn't know he was this serious. Massimo's eyes flashed with something dark. That's because you've only seen the version of him that pretended to love you. My breath wobbled. And the version he shows now? Possessive, dangerous, and unraveling. Fear gripped my spine. Massimo reached out and took my hands, his large fingers wrapping around mine. I won't let him touch you, he said. But, no, he interrupted gently but firmly. No more buts. No more excuses for him. No more protecting the person who hurt you. Tears filled my eyes again. I'm not protecting him, I whispered. Yes, you are, he murmured. By letting him haunt you. By letting him believe he still has access to you. I don't want him near me. Then let me handle it. I shook my head. I don't want you to get in trouble. He leaned closer. I am trouble. For a moment, just a moment, I felt a strange warmth push back the fear. His thumb brushed the back of my hand. "Look at me," he said softly. I did. "You're not alone. Not anymore." My chest cracked open. He stood slowly, pulling me up with him. "I'll stay outside your room tonight," he said. "Just in case." You don't have to." "I do," he said. "For my peace. For yours." He gave a small, rare smile. "Yes, mine." He walked toward the door, opened it, then paused. Turning back, he said quietly, "If you need anything, anything at all, call my name." My breath caught. "And I will come." He closed the door gently, leaving me with my racing heart, and the echo of his promise. I barely slept. Not because I didn't feel safe, but because I could hear him, Massimo, sitting outside my door, not moving, not sleeping, not leaving. Every shift of his weight, every quiet breath, every subtle click of his phone. His presence wrapped around me like a shield while the storm outside raged. I must have drifted off eventually, because when I opened my eyes, sunlight was bleeding through the curtains. For one strange moment, I forgot where I was. Then it hit me. His house, his mother's room, his protection, and the memory of him kneeling in front of me last night. I sat up slowly, heart still unsteady. When I opened the door, I froze. Massimo wasn't sitting anymore. He was standing, arms crossed, back against the wall, eyes closed like he'd been awake the whole night. And when he sensed me, he opened his eyes instantly. "Morning," he said softly. I swallowed. "You've been out here the whole night?" "Yes." "You didn't sleep?" "No." My chest tightened. "Massimo, you didn't have to." He stepped forward, closing the distance between us. "Yes," he said quietly. "I did." There were faint dark circles under his eyes. His hair was a little messy. His shirt sleeves were still rolled up from last night. And somehow he looked more dangerous than ever. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I think so." He nodded once. "Good. Because we need to talk." My stomach twisted. "What happened?" He exhaled through his nose, frustration simmering beneath his control. "I got another call at dawn. From your men." "Yes." My breath hitched. "What did they say?" He looked at me for a long moment before answering. "He came back." I felt dizzy. My ex, he came back? Where? "To your building." My hands started shaking. "He wasn't there by accident," Massimo continued. "He was waiting. For me." Massimo lifted his hand, gently steadying my wrist. "He's fixated," he said. "And fixated men are dangerous." My breath stuttered. "So what do we do?" He stepped closer. "You let me handle him." "No," I whispered. "Yes," he said calmly. "You can't get involved in my mess, Massimo." "It's not your mess anymore," he whispered. "It's ours." My heart twisted. Before I could respond, another man appeared down the hallway. Tall, black suit, hard eyes. "Boss," he said. "We have him." My blood ran cold. Massimo didn't react outwardly. He just nodded once. "Where?" Massimo asked. "In the garage." "Garage." He brought him here. I felt my knees weaken. Massimo turned back to me. "You're staying here," he said. "No." I grabbed his arm. "You can't hurt him. Please. I don't want violence. I just want him gone." Massimo didn't soften, but he didn't pull away either. Instead, he leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. "I am not going to kill him." My breath trembled. "I don't want to ruin your life," I whispered. "You won't. Or your business. You won't." "Then what are you going to do?" He held my gaze. "Convince him he made a mistake." A chill ran down my spine. His version of convince wasn't the normal one. "But you're not coming," he added. "Why not?" "Because you're afraid of him," Massimo said. "And I won't put you in a room with someone who hurt you." The way he said it, so matter-of-fact, so protective, so final, made something inside me melt and break at the same time. "Stay," he said again. I nodded slowly. He touched my chin one last time. "I'll be back." Then he turned and walked away with the guard. The minutes stretched painfully long. I paced the room. Saturday. Stood. Walked again. Every sound made me jump. Until finally, footsteps echoed down the hallway. Massimo appeared. Not a hair out of place. Not a wrinkle on his shirt. No blood. No cuts. But his jaw was tight, and his eyes were burning with controlled fury. My heart raced. What happened? I whispered. He walked directly toward me. He won't come near you again. My breath caught. That's all you need to know, he added. No, I whispered. I want to know. His voice lowered. I told him the truth, Massimo said. What truth? That you're not alone. He stepped closer. That you're under my protection. Closer. That if he touches you again. He paused, eyes locked on mine. He won't walk away next time. My knees nearly gave out. Massimo. He understood, he said. Clearly. I didn't know what emotion to feel. Relief, fear, gratitude, shock. They all hit me at once. My eyes burned. He sighed softly. Don't cry again, he said. Not today. I wiped my cheek. I'm not crying from fear this time. What then? He asked. I swallowed hard. You protected me. He shook his head. I should have protected you earlier. I looked up at him, really looked at him. The man who terrified everyone. The man who commanded entire rooms. The man people whispered about in fear. And he was looking at me like I was something fragile, precious, important. He took a slow breath. Angelina, he said quietly, I don't want you going back to that apartment. I know. You're staying here for a while. I know. And I don't want you walking to work alone. I know. He paused, studied me. What else do you know? He asked softly. My heart fluttered. That I feel safe with you. He blinked slowly. Something shifted in his expression, like a wall finally breaking. He stepped closer, lifting my face gently in his hands. Good, he whispered, because I haven't been able to think about anything but your safety since the moment I opened that closet door. My breath shook. And I don't want you to go back to hiding your pain from me. I won't, I whispered. He leaned his forehead against mine again, the same way he had last night. Good, he breathed. We stood there, breathing each other in, surrounded by a silence that felt intimate and electric. Then he lifted my chin. Say it again, he murmured. Say you feel safe with me. My voice trembled. I feel safe with you. His eyes softened in a way I'd never seen. Then stay. I looked at him, really looked at him. The man who dragged me out of a closet, protected me without hesitation, faced down the person who hurt me, gave me shelter, and stayed awake all night outside my door. I'll stay, I whispered. He exhaled slowly. Something like relief washed over his face. He brushed my cheek gently. Good, he murmured. Because I'm not letting you go. My heart raced, not in fear, in something dangerously close to trust. And maybe, just maybe, something more. I thought it was over. I thought after Massimo confronted my ex, after the terrifying night, after the promises he made while holding my face gently in his hands, that the storm had finally passed. But peace, real peace, doesn't exist in Massimo's world. And I learned that the very next morning. I was sitting in his kitchen, wrapped in a soft robe he'd placed on the guest bed. Sunlight filtered through the wide windows, the smell of fresh coffee filling the air. For the first time in days, I felt something unfamiliar. Calm, safe, almost happy. Then he walked in. Massimo, freshly showered, sleeves rolled to his elbows, black watch on his wrist, hair slightly wet, dark eyes scanning me immediately, like I was the first and only thing he cared to look at today. Morning, he said. I felt warmth rush to my cheeks. Morning. He set a mug in front of me and sat down across the table, never breaking eye contact. You slept better, he observed. A little. His voice softened. Good. Silence settled, but not the uncomfortable kind. The kind that feels full, charged. He laced his fingers together, leaning forward slightly. You're staying here for a few days, he said. No arguments. I swallowed. Okay. His brows lifted slightly. That was easy. I'm tired of running. You won't have to run again, he said. My heart tugged. And you won't hide from me again. I looked down at my coffee. No, I won't. He studied me for a long moment, then said, I have a meeting this afternoon. You'll stay inside. Don't open the door to anyone except Nico. I nodded. Okay. He reached across the table and gently brushed my knuckles with his thumb. A small touch, but it sent a warm ache through me. For now, he murmured. You're safe. I know. But just as the words left my mouth, a sharp, heavy knock echoed through the house. 3 loud bangs. Not polite, not hesitant, demanding. Massimo's head snapped toward the front door. His body went still. Then, his eyes shifted, dark and lethal. Stay here, he said, voice low. Who is it? I whispered. He didn't answer. He stood, controlled but tense, and walked toward the hallway. My pulse hammered. Something was wrong. Very, very wrong. I stood slowly, trying to hear. Another knock. Harder this time. Then a voice. Deep, rough, confident. Massimo De Luca, the man said. Open the door. We need to talk. I froze. That wasn't my ex. This voice was older, sharper, more dangerous. Massimo opened the door just enough to speak through the crack. What the hell are you doing here? He asked. A low chuckle came from the other side. What kind of greeting is that for your own brother? Brother. My stomach dropped. I moved closer, just enough to see from the corner of the hall. A tall man stood outside. Dark hair, cold smile, a scar cutting across his jaw. He looked like Massimo, but sharper around the edges, darker behind the eyes, hungrier for power. Massimo didn't open the door further. You weren't invited, he said stiffly. And yet, his brother replied, here I am. He leaned forward. Let me in. Massimo didn't move. What do you want, Luca? I heard you've been busy. His eyes flicked past Massimo, like he was trying to see inside the house. Thought I'd drop by. Massimo's voice turned cold. You're not coming in. Luca smirked. So the rumors are true. Massimo's jaw locked. What rumors? That you've been distracting yourself with a certain secretary. My blood turned to ice. He knew I was here. Massimo didn't turn around, but I saw the way his shoulders tensed. She's none of your concern, he said. Oh, Luca laughed. I'd say she's very much my concern. My whole body froze. What did that mean? Massimo's voice sharpened. Explain. Let's just say, Luca murmured. Your little secretary has been on my radar for a while. My knees nearly buckled. Massimo stepped outside, blocking the opening with his body. You go near her, he said quietly, and I'll put you in the ground. Luca raised an eyebrow. Touchy, aren't we? You have 5 seconds to leave. Luca clicked his tongue. Relax, brother. I didn't come for her. Then why? Massimo growled. I came to warn you. Massimo stayed silent. There's a storm coming, Luca said, and hiding women in your house won't save you from it. Massimo's hands curled into fists. Leave, he said again, voice deadly calm. Luca smirked, stepping back. As you wish. Then he looked directly past Massimo. Directly at me. I gasped and stepped back instinctively. Luca's smile grew. Pretty, he murmured. Now I understand. Massimo moved so fast I didn't see him. 1 second he was blocking the door. The next he was fully outside, slamming Luca against the wall. Look at her again, Massimo snarled. And I end you. Luca didn't fight back. He just laughed quietly. So this is what she does to you, he said. Fascinating. Massimo shoved him away. Get off my property. Luca dusted his suit. We'll talk soon. Like it or not. Then he walked away. Massimo stood there for a long moment, breathing hard. Then he shut the door and locked it. When he turned around, his eyes found mine instantly. Come here, he said. I hesitated, heartbeat racing. Angelina, he said again, softer but urgent. Come here. I walked toward him with trembling steps. When I reached him, he cupped my face with both hands. Are you okay? I think so. He exhaled shakily. I didn't want you to see that. Why is your brother here? I whispered. Because he's trouble. And what did he mean? A storm is coming? Massimo closed his eyes for a moment. He's part of the old side of the family, he said. The dangerous side. You mean Mafia? His silence was answer enough. My hands shook. Massimo, am I in danger? His eyes snapped open. I won't let anything happen to you. That's not what I asked. He hesitated. Then, yes, he whispered. You're in danger now. My breath caught. But you're with me, he continued. And as long as you're with me. He pulled me against his chest, one hand on the back of my head, the other around my waist. No one, he murmured into my hair. Not my brother, not your ex, not anyone, will touch you. I felt tears sting my eyes. Massimo, his voice dropped to a confession. You're mine to protect now. I froze. And then, he whispered the words that changed everything. And I don't lose what's mine. My heart stopped, and then started beating in a way that terrified me. Because I knew this wasn't over. This was just the beginning.